It's 6 o'clock now. I'll call the meeting to order. If you will please rise for the pledge and remain standing for the invocation. Reverend Hunt.
Good evening. I'm Bruce Hunt, pastor of Grace Church on Ecorse and Pelham. It says in 1 Timothy 2 that we are to pray for those in authority over us. So let's spend a couple minutes in praying for those in authority in our city. So Lord, we thank you and praise you for today. Today's the day that you have made. We choose to rejoice and be glad in it. And Lord, we lift up those in authority in our city. We pray for our city council. We pray blessings in their lives. We pray safety for our first responders in our city. And Lord, we pray for our police department. We pray a special blessing on Chief Egan and his wife as they prepare for retirement. And we just pray this blessing in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And Lord, we pray a blessing over Chief-elect Feltzer as he begins his service as Chief of Police to our city. We just pray a blessing on his family as well in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. We give you thanks for today, and we ask that you watch over us during this council meeting. It's in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you. Michael, if you'll please call the roll.
All right. All right. Councilman Lloyd.
Here.
Councilman Schlack.
Present.
Councilman Barr. Here. Councilman Marcos. Here. Councilman Valerius.
Here.
Councilwoman Nick.
Here.
Treasurer Estheimer is at a treasurer's convention, so he is asked to be excused. And Mayor Gail McLeod.
Here.
We have a quorum, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda as amended?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Barr, second by Mr. Marcos. Any other changes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
For the record, that is removing, what was it?
Resolution 3.
Resolution 3.
Yes, I'm sorry, Mike.
That's okay. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council.
Any other changes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. May I have a motion to approve the minutes from the regular meeting of September 10th?
Motion, Mayor.
Motion by Mr. Valerius.
Second.
Second by Mr. Barr. Any corrections? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. We will now have presentations by our Beautification Commission. Turn the mic back on.
Yep. Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Kathy Collier, and I am the chairperson of the Beautification Commission. With me this evening, we have fellow commission members Kendra Karanen, Edward Spacher, and our student commissioner, Anna Fredericks. We are here this evening to present our 2024 Residential and Business Beautification Awards. Before I hand out the awards, I just want to quickly explain how it is. We have some of our wonderful homeowners and business owners with us this evening. The Beautification Commission on June 1st started receiving nominations for our Residential and Business Beautification Awards. We asked the residents to please nominate a home and or a business they felt contributed a great deal of their time, effort, as well as pride in their landscaping and the overall appearance of their property. July 15th was the cutoff date, and this year we received a record number of 38 total nominations. Each of the commission members were then emailed the nomination forms, and they were able to then drive by the homes, view them, and appraise them in order to vote. We met in August, and we voted for the top 10 homes, the top 5 businesses. Each of the award winners was then sent a notification letter inviting them here this evening to receive their award in front of City Council. I want to, on behalf of the Beautification Commission, congratulate each of the winners and ask that when you come up and receive your award, if you could remain standing in front of the room because there will be a group picture. And then at the end, if you would like to exit through this side door, we can then also take your picture in front of the city seal. And now I will hand out the awards. Linda Weiss. Oh, stand up here. Keep Linda.
Where do you want me to go?
Just stand right there.
Okay.
Susan SOUTHFIELD. Nicole and Ken Gartside. Jenny Grunwald. Nancy and Jerry Josh. John and Felicia Courtright. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Howard Severanson. Congratulations. Yep. And now some businesses. The Visionary, Annette Prevost. Culvers, Jeff Holden. Chris Tuccini. Tuccini Orthodontic Laboratory. Not here?
Chris, the family had a death they had a death, so he could not make it.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that.
We'll make sure he gets it.
Okay. Okay. I just want to make sure that nobody's here for REEK, 9120 REEK. No? Or how about Midway, Bianca Giannopoulos? Or Charles and Tammy Fowley? Nope. Okay. Our award winners.
Should we try to squish in together? All right, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, thanks. And then we'll meet over there by the seal for another photo.
Very quickly before everyone leaves, we do want to thank all of the residents and business owners who put so much into their properties. We really, really do appreciate it. Thank you. can tell in driving around our community that there's a great deal of pride that our homeowners and businesses take in their facilities. And to have gotten 38 nominations this year speaks very well of our community. Our next order of business is one that it's always bittersweet when you've got to recognize a retirement, but we are at that point again. Oops, I'm jumping the gun. Too many police matters. Right. We've got our police department accreditation. I'm sorry I didn't have that listed separately. So that will be our next presentation. Thank you.
Sorry, Chief, I'm usurping your position here. Good, thank you. Madam Mayor, council members, city officials, and probably most importantly, the citizens of the city of Allen Park. My name is Robert Stevenson. I'm currently the executive director with the Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police. I spent my 37-year police career in the city of Livonia before coming here. I'm here tonight representing the Michigan Law Enforcement Accreditation Commission for the awarding of the Certificate of Accreditation to the Allen Park Police Department. I can say from being in Southeast Michigan for my police career, I'm very familiar with Allen Park. You've got a good police department, but I can tell you since going through the accreditation process, you have a better police department. When I left Livonia, they were not accredited. They've since gotten accredited, and I'm proud to say they're a better department than when I left it. It's a significant professional achievement. I remember when Chris Egan was at our police executive and new chief school and saw the accreditation presentation, he took note of that and came up afterwards to learn more about it and then said, I would like to see our police department get accredited. It takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of leadership to do that. I think everybody's aware that over the last few years there have been lots of calls around the nation for what they call police reform, as we call it police improvement, but I'm proud to say your police department has attained everything that every one of those improvements were called for. And they did it voluntarily. Nobody made them do it. They stepped up and did it themselves. To put this a little bit in perspective, in the state of Michigan, there's currently about 585 police agencies. Of those police agencies, just slightly less than 400 are municipal agencies, such as Allen Park. There's 83 county sheriffs, and the rest of the police agencies are things such as hospitals, universities, tribal police, and such. Out of the some 600 police agencies that are in the state of Michigan, your police department is only the 84th to attain accreditation. Or to put that, I agree. Or to put that in a little bit different way, your police department has done what 85% of the other police departments in this state have not yet been able to do. I will tell everybody I look forward to the day that all the police departments in the state of Michigan have gone through all the work that it takes to become accredited. But right now, you should be very proud of the professional accomplishment. I'm very proud of your police department and of your police chief. So when I started speaking here, I said I'm here representing the Law Enforcement Accreditation Commission to award the Certificate of Accreditation. We do not give these out. They're earned, and they're earned with a lot of work. And I'd like to invite up to the podium our Deputy Director and the current Program Director for our accreditation program, Chief Ron Wiles. Ron?
Well, good evening. It is certainly my pleasure to be here today and recognize and honor your fine police department. My name is Ron Wiles. I'm the Deputy Director with the Michigan Association Chiefs of Police and the Accreditation Program Director for McLeod, or the Michigan Law Enforcement Accreditation Commission. You are all somewhat familiar with accreditation. Your kids go to accredited schools. When you're sick or need medical attention, you go to an accredited physician or accredited hospital. Law enforcement is no different. Accreditation is a progressive, time-proven way to increase the overall performance and level of service of a law enforcement agency. Now, the foundation of our program lies in the voluntary compliance with 128 professional standards. Now, the key word there is voluntary. As Executive Director Stevenson said, no one forced the Allen Park Police Department to do this. They did it for the sole reason of getting better, to get better for themselves, better for you as elected officials, and most importantly, better for the residents of the city of Allen Park. Let me kind of walk you through the process of everything that took place for them to earn this significant professional achievement. The first step, for whatever reason, seems to be the most difficult step for some police agencies to overcome. I get to tour the state, talk to a lot of chiefs, and they all see the benefits of accreditation, but for whatever reason, they have trouble jumping that first hurdle, pulling the trigger and getting started in the process. But as you know, and I'm proud to say, under the leadership of Chief Egan, they were able to do that and apply for this process and get that ball rolling to successfully achieve this. The second step, we call it self-analysis. Self-analysis is where all the work is done. We give agencies 2 years to a complete self-analysis, and based on the circumstances, there's an opportunity to get extensions if needed to complete the process. But during that 2-year process, they look at our 128 standards. They look at their current written directives or policies and procedures, and they compare the two to see if they're compliant in some areas and where they need to improve. I can tell you for certain, in some areas, they were totally compliant with our standards initially. But I can also tell you with all certainty that in some areas, there was a lot of need for improvement to update their current written directives to become compliant. Now, we all know it's one thing to say that you are compliant with something, but we actually force agencies to show us that they are compliant. We do that through a thing called proofs. So for each 128 standards we have, they have to show or have a proof that they are in compliance. Now, that proof could be anything. It could be a picture, it could be a police report, it could be a video, could be an interview or something that can be seen. All those things show the assessors that they are in compliance, which takes us to our third step, the on-site assessment. When the agency is ready, when they feel that they are compliant with all 128 applicable standards, they reach out to me, and I set up a team of trained assessors from outside the area, bring them to the city of Allen Park, and they do a top-to-bottom review of the police department. They look at all the written directives, they look at all the standards, they look at all the proofs, they make sure they're all in compliance. When they're here, they do interviews. Some of you may have been involved in that interview process. They allow the residents of the city of Allen Park to call in and give their feedback, good or bad, on the police department. After all of that, they sit down with the chief and the accreditation team, and right then the chief probably has a pretty good idea how this is going to go. But it leads to the fourth step. The fourth step is the Chief Egan and the accreditation team, they come before the McLeod Commission and sit before a panel of commissioners. And those commissioners ask questions. They ask questions about the process, about the police department, about the community, all further verifying their compliance with those 128 standards. And I'm proud to say in this case, the McLeod Commission voted unanimously to approve the city of Allen Park for full accredited status. It is a significant professional accomplishment, but the work is only beginning. Up to this point, sounds like a pretty thorough process, but so far they've made a promise. They've made a promise to the department members. They've made a promise to you, and they've made a promise to the residents of Allen Park. Now it's time for them to keep that promise, and they keep that promise through reaccreditation. So in 3 years, I'm going to send another team of assessors to the Allen Park Police Department, and they're going to do another top-to-bottom review of this agency, going through that whole assessment process again. However, this time it's a little different. They do a full assessment process for each year of that 3-year period. So for each year, the police department has to be compliant, show their compliance with all 128 standards for the first year, for the second year, and for the third year. Reaccreditation can be a handful, but I have the utmost confidence in the team that Chief Egan has put together here that they're going to be successful in that reaccreditation and keeping the promise they made to everyone in this room. And with that, I'd like to call back up Executive Director Stevenson for the presentation.
Chief, if you come up here. While the chief's making his way up here, I would like to take 1 second and thank all the elected officials here in Allen Park for your support of this. This does not happen without the support of our electeds. I'm sad to say I go around the state and I see bodies that say they do not want their police department to go through all that work. So I applaud all of you for standing behind this achievement. And with that, Chief, to all who see this certificate, know that the Allen Park Police Department, having voluntarily complied with the standards established by the Michigan Law Enforcement Accreditation Commission, deemed essential for the delivery of professional police services and the protection of their community, is hereby awarded this certificate of accreditation effective the first day of October in the year 2024 for a term of 3 years. Chief, congratulations.
Okay, first of all, I didn't accomplish anything. Got a great team. Administrative Sergeant Eric Jablonski took over in the middle of complete chaos with the pandemic, new computer systems, new, you name it. He's very organized. He's got an engineering degree from Lawrence Tech. He wants things off his plate. Perfect member of our team. Sydney Eulenberg, who is actually in college right now, she might be coming a little bit late. She did an internship with us and found out real soon, yeah, this job ain't for me. But she has a degree from U of M, from mathematics and criminal justice, two things that normally don't go together. She was great helping us do all of our double checking spelling and doing all those little things and putting policies and great at other things like that. Aaron Feltz, again, staff in command, going to make an excellent chief, was on it, and he's actually worked every position in our department, from officer to FTO coordinator to administrative sergeant to road and lieutenant, and our DB lieutenant right now, and then Bill Mehall. So I don't know if you want to say anything. No? That's Bill. Bill's a humble guy. This would not have happened without him. So congratulations. Gotta wait for Mrs. Mehall 1 second. She's good, all right. Yeah, I am 100% confident with this team. You will be reaccredited in 3 years. I guarantee it, so thank you.
Thank you. To the gentleman from the state, want to thank you very much. Appreciated your visit here, appreciated the review that you did. And I have to tell you that I cannot believe that any community would not support this type of effort. I just find that incredibly frustrating to hear that. They all need to get on board. And as you indicated, I think we got off to a very good start. I think we had a number of things in place, and we knew where we needed to go, so thank you very much.
Yeah, they do give us 2 years and possibly a 6-month extension. We did it in 18 months, so I didn't have to stay another 6 months. Not that I wouldn't have, I would have, but Councilman Lloyd and I talked about this 5 years ago. Aaron Feltz and I, both scout car partners in Detroit, driving around as officers, and in Detroit, they gave you a book this big of general orders, and you're responsible when you get a new order to take the old one out and put them in. We didn't really have that here, and Aaron's like, someone needs to fix this. We just didn't think it would be us, right? But yeah, Bill did a phenomenal job. A couple people I do want to thank because, well, first of all, we had 25 different people call in. Our assessor said it was one of the highest that they received, 100% positive comments, which was great. Jim Perry, I think he's here, from DCC, and John Perry from American Legion, Jim Berry from our Chamber of Commerce. I know Annette from Visionary was part of the one that interviewed, and Denny Howard. So thank you to them. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Now we get back to just proves that even though you have things highlighted and underlined, you don't catch them all the time. Very exciting. We kind of knew that was coming, but it's still very exciting. It's a long and arduous process. A lot of time was consumed, but it just took a good police department and made it even better. Very proud of our police force. Thank you very much. Now the next order of business, proclamation recognizing 25 years with the City of Allen Park, Christopher Egan. Whereas Christopher Egan, retiring Chief of Police of the City of Allen Park, has served in law enforcement for over 27 years, 25 with the City of Allen Park. And whereas he began his career in the City of Allen Park as a police officer on September 1, 1999, and whereas he was promoted to sergeant in 2007 and lieutenant in 2010, and graduated from Staff and Command in 2017. And whereas on July 27, 2020, he was appointed to and accepted the position of Chief of Police. And whereas following his appointment, he managed to recruit new officers through creative methods, foster new programs for the well-being of our community, and led the way for the accreditation of our police department by the state. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Mayor Gail McLeod, on behalf of the City of Allen Park and all of its elected officials, hereby recognize retiring Chief Christopher Egan for his unwavering service to Allen Park and express our deepest appreciation for his dedication and commitment to the betterment of our community, and extend to Chris and his family our best wishes for a long and happy retirement. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Allen Park, Michigan to be affixed this 24th day of September 2024. Thank you, Chief Egan. If any council members would like to make a comment at this time to Chief Egan, please feel free to do so. Where did he go?
Is he sticking around to the end of the meeting? Or is he home?
I'll Chief Egan, I just wanted to thank you for just not only your service to Allen Park, but just all the many years of service, as a law enforcement officer. Wearing that badge for as long as you have in one of the most dangerous jobs there is, just is a testament to your willingness to protect us. And I just wanted to thank you. Please enjoy your retirement because you most definitely earned it. God bless.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to thank you too. I know we've got some old family ties between you and our family for years and years ago.
Councilman Marcos told me his first kiss was my aunt in Florida. I'm still a little traumatized by that.
It's true. It's absolutely true. And my brother and your
Allen Park.
father, and my brother and your father go back. They were
Yeah.
buddies all through school. So,
Yeah.
And it didn't dawn on me for a long time. I knew the name. I said, "Well, you live 6 houses away." It never dawned on me. But thank you all for all your service. And I know you've got more things going on for yourself. I'm sure you're not gonna sit still, at least for a little while. But I appreciate your service. You've done a fantastic job. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. You were on the Civil Service Commission. We were navigating a lot of these roadblocks, so I appreciate your help there. So.
Thank you.
So you mentioned it. I remember you coming into my classroom during COVID, us sitting on the opposite side of the classroom. It's the first time that I heard about accreditation. And so it's kind of, and I know this is just how it worked out, that the day you retire is the day that we do it. And I appreciate so much because I know we had a great police force before this. We had a great department, but I know it's a better one for it. And it really speaks, it's a testament to your character, leaving something better than you found it. So thank you so much, not even for your time as chief, but all the time that you spent on the roads, in 91, keeping me safe, our family safe. It is very much appreciated. So you're going to be very much missed, Chief.
Thank you. You brought up a lot of points, and I appreciated that. It is police improvement. We did have a great department. It's kind of like football or hockey or baseball or anything. It's evolved, and that's what I think this is, police evolution. I would be remiss to say one of the big things that helped us, our Representative Tullio Liberati and Debbie Dingle, a congresswoman, helped us get a $213,000 grant, so it didn't cost the city money to do that, and Bill did a great job navigating that. So,
Chief Egan, I prepared something
Uh-oh.
I often do. Yeah, I can be long-worded. Chief Egan, as you prepare to retire from the role of Chief of Police, I want to take a moment to express my heartfelt appreciation for your unwavering dedication to the city of Allen Park. From the day I joined the city council in 2019, you have been a constant source of support. I still remember the first time we met long before I took my seat on council. I was just a candidate and you were a lieutenant, fresh out of a dunk tank. Even then, your commitment to the community was evident. Along with your approachable and genuine nature, you didn't merely serve the city, you were actively engaged in its heart. Always willing to invest your time and energy in good causes. That initial encounter left a lasting impression on me, and when I became a council member, you welcomed me with the same warmth and support that characterized your leadership. I'm especially grateful for your hard work in getting the department accredited for the Michigan Association of Chiefs of Police. The significant milestone not only reflects your commitment to excellence, but also the standard for future leaders. Your dedication to improving the police department has made a lasting impact on our community and established a foundation for our continued success. Your work with the autism community has also deeply resonated with me. As a father of a son with autism, I've witnessed your hard efforts have positively impacted families like mine. Your dedication to understanding and supporting these individuals with autism speaks volumes. Your compassion and it's significantly enriched our community. Your commitment to the veterans of Allen Park is also gone without notice, especially since I'm a veteran of the United States Army. And that has made a significant impact on all those veterans, especially establishing the Honor Guard, and to provide a meaningful way to honor their service and support their families. Bringing the Honor Guard to our city has reflected our dedication to our veterans and enhanced our community's appreciation for their sacrifices. I can't thank you enough for everything you have done to make Allen Park a more inclusive place. Your steady hand during challenging times will be greatly missed. You've established a high standard for leadership within the police department, and your calm, measured approach has held a profound ripple effect throughout the department and beyond. While your retirement signifies the end of an era for Allen Park Police Department, it's also the beginning of a new chapter for you. Remember, it isn't an end, it's a new beginning, filled with endless possibilities. I have every confidence that you'll continue to make a meaningful difference, no matter where your path leads next. I will also take the opportunity to express my gratitude to your wife, Kim, and your children for their support throughout your career. Their sacrifices and encouragement have been vital, allowing you to serve our community wholeheartedly. Thank you, Chief Egan.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Chris, I can say that because I've actually played with you from Southgate Expo days.
Yeah, that was a long baseball days ago for sure.
Yes. Really what Gary said comes from the heart. I can't really top it. You beat me by a few years on the retirement age. Even though I was with a different department, it was here in Allen Park.
Mm-hmm.
You know that.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations. Enjoy the retirement. That's exactly what I did. I took a big, deep breath. To all your family and friends, ride safe. And I mean it.
Amen. Thanks.
Till next. Okay. Thank you for your support of 25 years. What I remember the most about you, Chris, is your volunteer time. And when you weren't on the clock, you were helping residents all the time. The one thing I remember is when our councilperson, Pam Sykes, was dying, and she had a dying wish that the Honor Guard would be at her funeral. The Honor Guard was just being established, and a lot of them were on vacation, and you were on vacation also, and you came off of vacation and stood at her funeral for her. And then you orchestrated the funeral procession, which I had never seen anything like that in my life. Every city, every police officer, we went from one city to the next. You orchestrated that. So what I remember most is your volunteer time and how you helped our residents when they needed it, and you never asked for anything. In fact, you just recently donated your blues to the historical museum, so that will be there. The only thing I do ask is, could you write us a letter on what all those, those pins mean?
Sure.
And have that so we can always remember that. So I appreciate you and good luck with your adventures, and I know you're going to be doing good things to come. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, Chris, there's not too much more to add. We know that there were some tough times and some rough times, and you came through it, and we're recruiting and everything else you had to do, and we're at full staffing now. I just can't say enough about those efforts. I do have Treasurer Estheimer isn't here, but he did send me some information. And one of the things, he was going to leave it to closing, but I'm not. He wishes to offer you his sincere thanks and congratulations on your years of service and your approaching retirement, and he wishes you and your family the very, very best. And with that,
Thank you.
happy retirement.
I just want to say thank you. I appreciate it. One of the big things we're really proud of is our mission statement, and that was written by our officers. We did a 3-day retreat with people from every part of our organization, our civilians, our officers, our sergeant, lieutenants, our detectives, and they came up with that, and I will say past, present, and future councils and city department heads, the first 3 words were the ones we weren't doing well in our police department, everyone working together, and I hope we can do that. Community was important to them. They weren't talking about, oh, I made this arrest, or I got to do that, or I was on SWAT. It was really what we did as a community, so let's do that. Thank you.
You know, as I sit here observing, everyone always looks forward to retirement, but I don't think I've yet to see someone who's walked out the door that didn't have that pang of sadness because they loved what they were doing and they were going to miss the people with whom they worked. And I think it hits everyone the same way, no matter the celebration, no matter the party, it hits everyone the same way. Our next order of business is an appointment of a student commissioner to the DDA. May I have a motion to appoint Brady Boroniec?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Lloyd.
Second.
Second by Mr. Barr. Just a little background. Brady is a senior at Allen Park High School who asked to serve on the Downtown Development Authority Board, and in checking with the board and their officers, they were very enthused about the prospect of having a student commissioner join them, and I am thrilled that he applied. So if I could have a vote, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Boroniec, you are a student commissioner and will now be sworn in.
When I seen the name, I thought, I know that guy. But we call him Brodo, okay? That's his nickname. He is an excellent runner for the Allen Park Cross Country team. I mean, you're one of the top, so. But Brodo, good job, man. But I'm gonna swear you in. I'm not gonna make you repeat after me. Just at the end, say, I swear, I do, or I affirm, and then we're done. So raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Michigan, and that you will endeavor to secure and maintain an honest and efficient administration of the affairs of the city of Allen Park, free from partisan distinction or control, and that you will perform the duties of Downtown Development Authority Student Commissioner to the best of your abilities, so help you God?
I do.
All right, congratulations. That's yours first.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Brady. Now we'll move on to the next order of business, and while the treasurer is not here again, he sent me from his seminar, the conference that he's at, for the Michigan Mutual Treasurers Association, and he wanted me to make a few announcements related to the Treasurer's Department. We continue to accept delinquent tax payments at the treasurer's window, but please be aware of the 1% penalty interest fee added on the first of each month of delinquency. And that is it until his closing comments. Now we'll move on to the city administrator's operational report.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Council, residents. Just a few updates. We have the paving on Pinecrest will be finished with the wear course being put down as soon as the weather clears. Hopefully that's later this week. I am not a weather person, so no bets on this. The reconstruction of Wick Road, Pelham Road to railroad tracks, and Herrick Street from Pelham to the cul-de-sac has started. Looks like they'll be ready to pour concrete on Wick Road. Again, I think that's going to be weather related as well when that clears up. For the next few weeks, U of M Dearborn's women's ACHA Division I hockey team will be practicing at the ice arena. This is their top women's program at the University of Michigan Dearborn. They play other ACHA D1 teams. They could be, I think they do play Adrian, which I'm familiar with. I think Councilman Valeris is with a couple of former students over there. Ann Arbor, they also play against the Michigan State, I believe. So if you want to see some really good women's hockey, head over to the rink for practice. I believe they're there in the morning, though, and so you got to check out in the morning. Deputy Chief Eric Taylor and Sergeant Mike Stutz will be attending the Michigan Firefighters Inspectors Society Fall Conference in Mount Pleasant from September 30th to October 3rd. On Saturday, October 5th, we have the Styrofoam Collection and Shred Day. That'll be held in the parking lot off of Philomene. It's behind the Prestige Banquet, Culver's, PNC Bank. That time is going to be 9 to 12. Lighted Christmas Parade will be on Park Avenue. Will be held Friday, November 22nd, starting at 6:30. And the following employee reaches a milestone in years of service with the city. That'll be Deborah Zettel from the administration. She reaches 10 years on October 16th. and appropriately, you said Deb walks in the door.
May I have a motion to accept and file the administrator's report?
Motion, Mayor.
Motion by Mr. Valerius.
Second.
Second by Ms. Nick. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. We will now move to public comments. You have 4 minutes to speak. All we ask is that you provide your name and the street on which you live. Please do not provide a full address and keep your comments civil. Thank you.
Hello again, Council. Mark Bailey, residence on Philomene, but I reside on Park Avenue. Just wanted to let you know that the Allen Park Elks for the 36th year will be welcoming to our community special needs individuals for our party inside the Elks, the Pumpkin Patch. Years ago, I made a decision to continue operating a business that my wife's father had operated, and it's now been 70 years in this city, and I've only been there 42 years. And I've been doing the Halloween pumpkin patch since I started. The club asked me to become an officer, and I said no, I would like to concentrate on a special needs function. And every year, when Park Avenue was redesigned, I took it out of my own ambition to decorate up and down Park Avenue for different holidays, changing from one season to another. And unfortunately, the current progress that the city has made eliminated what I was doing for 30 plus years. They removed the blue poles, replaced them with acorn poles, then got their sawzalls out and decided to remove all of the electric outlets on all of the trees up and down Park Avenue that were lit up, and I'm sure some of you have seen comments about the frustration, why it was done. It was, the blue poles are gone, the acorn lights are up, and no more tree lights up and down Park Avenue, and I'd had people coming in and thanking me for doing that for years. We weren't even notified that they were not doing that. We got a letter saying acorn lights. So just come on down for the Allen Park Elks 36th Annual Pumpkin Patch on the 31st, and welcome all the special needs and a few hundred other people that will be gathered around on Park Avenue. And I love this city. That's why I've been at that store, and the store's been in operation for over 70 years. Unfortunately, it was frustrating what happened on Park Avenue, because that's sort of my focus since I live and reside there. Thank you.
Pam Smith, Philomene. Most people know who the Smiths are. We're not quiet about how much we love our city or how much we care about our city workers. When a problem's identified by an employer or coworker, many who hold leadership roles expect some form of resolution to follow the issue being discussed. Long gone are the days of dropping the issue on your leader and stepping back because they get paid the big bucks, and they're paid to solve these issues. It's wrong. If you bring the issue up, at least have some idea how to solve the problem. Leaders rely on teamwork in most facets of life for success, not as an individual, but as a team. At the August 27th City Council meeting, there was a resolution to ratify the actions of the city administrator regarding the finance department and the hiring of Carl Johnson as a part-time employee at an hourly rate of $70 an hour, and changing Amanda Wirtz from an independent contractor to a part-time employee at an hourly rate of $70 an hour. During the discussion, it was suggested the resolutions be separated and the words temporary and at will be included for Mr. Johnson, Resolution 5A. The biggest concern heard was based on if he had the bandwidth to give us the hours needed on a part-time basis. A review would follow October 22nd, 2024. After the suggested changes were made, it was passed to hire Mr. Johnson. Next was Amanda, Resolution 5B. The same wording, at will, temporary, part-time, and $70 an hour pay as Mr. Johnson discussed. Oh, same pay as Mr. Johnson. Discussion stated our bond rating would be higher with a part-time employee in the financial manager role, retaining her vast knowledge. The motion was denied. Why? The dollar amount for her seemed the largest factor in your decision when it wasn't a question for Mr. Johnson. How would you measure her wealth of information, experience, and understanding of processes to say no, yet hire someone in that is knowledgeable but still needs to get his feet wet with Allen Park again? Was this for our betterment or for personal reasons? Thank you for giving us an unstable management and affecting our bond. Many businesses hire back employees for consultation or part-time positions. This is absolutely nothing new. I was one of those people. And believe me, $70 an hour is a steal. Michigan is an at-will employment state, which means either the employer or the employee can be terminated. They can get rid of their employment relationship at any time, for any reason, as long as it's not illegal. And there's few exceptions, terminations based on discrimination or retaliation. It's alarming that council members consistently state they haven't had enough time to review the information prior to meetings. You ran for your position, were voted in to represent us. Take the time to review your packet, regardless of how large the packet is or how little time you have to make the time. I repeat, make the time. Have questions ready during work sessions and in official meetings during motion discussions. We now have no financial manager. What's your solution? we have a resident, or as a resident, I'm looking to you for resolution. This position never should have been voted down without a concrete solution. Who stepped into this position to ensure payroll, invoices, accounts payable is being handled? Is it Mark Kibbe? Has the expectation been that he fulfill his role and now take over Amanda's as well? His plate's already full. Has Mr. Estheimer been trying to fill that void too? Have you? Lastly, I just want to say, you were voted in to do what's best for our company or our city. At this point, I have to question, who's protecting us from you?
Good evening. My name is Susan White. My husband Ray and I have lived on Park Avenue for almost 40 years. I have just a few short questions for you. Noticing lately driving down Rosedale in the last week or so, especially around the Belmont and Rosedale area, there's an awful lot of pitting in the brand new cement that was laid, I believe, last year. And my concern is that that's not going to get any better. What are we doing to make sure that we go and discuss this with the contractors that did the work so that we're covered? And I don't expect answers tonight, but I would like someone to get back with me on these items. The second item I had was out here on Southfield, we have, I believe, 7 flagpoles. And I notice one lonely, sad-looking flag out there. Is there a reason why our flags are not hanging on the poles out there? The third is a block party on Park has been discussed by some of the neighbors. I'm not sure if that's not allowed because it's a direct route for emergency vehicles, but I'd like to know if that would be something that we could do between Leslie and Wick. And then finally, as just a regular citizen of the city of Allen Park, I would like to thank Chief Egan for all his work in helping to make us feel as citizens safe and being able to go to bed at night knowing that somebody's watching over us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening, City Council, Mayor Ray McGusson-Quant. A couple of things. This past week, a number of weeks, even the past month, somebody has to notify the trash pickup that they cannot drop, physically drop the containers in the street. They really don't care where they put them. So what's going to happen when our streets are going to need to be swept, they're going to be playing dodgem cards with those things because they really don't care. The next thing is, when work gets done or a project gets pushed for our city, I would really like to find out if you can just get some average Joe Blow citizens involved in the area and ask them for some questions. What they did on Park is ridiculous. To go ahead and physically go ahead and cut power lines that are in there in order for Mr. Bailey, who all these years was putting his time in, his energy, and his money, which I did not know, and I want to thank him personally for doing that kind of work. That means in the future there is no power there for nothing. So you can bring generators in like you had to for Pure Michigan and for the street fair. I also at this time would like to thank Chris Egan for the job he has done, for keeping this community safe, for the police department and the fire department for doing exactly the same thing. Chris was one heck of a neighbor. And I mean, he was a neighbor. He was a neighbor to all of us. Sometimes I get up here and I do the best I can, okay? I did a walkthrough. I was given a personal walkthrough of the fire department by the fire chief. What I saw was atrocious. And I'm gonna personally say this. Even though I have come up here and I look at the money, and I keep reminding us how deeply debt we really are, I firmly believe at this time we should relook at that contract. If they need money and they need an extra bay, or it costs another $1 million or $1.5 million, give it to them. Now is the time. This is not a Band-Aid over there. They did a Band-Aid over there too many years. It is horrible. If I was working there, I would be calling the health department personally. I would be calling my OSHA. They did exactly the same thing with the police department. We need to look ahead. Even though it might cost us some money now, I know that's why we're in debt where we are. But please look ahead when you do such a big job. We can't build another fire department. I mean, just go out and just build a new one. Do what you need to get done. Ask them what they need now. Give it to them. We, the citizens, deserve it. They deserve it. I'm going to tell you right now, it blew my mind what I saw, what they are working under. Their work conditions are really, really, really bad. I'm going to tell you what they need. They need to wear their Scott Air packs when they're inside there and they're living. That's how bad it is. With that, I want to thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to come up here and give my 4 minutes. And I also want to remember one thing. Without the citizens of this great city, you wouldn't be here, people. It's us, the citizens, and the police department, and the DPW workers. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Welcome, Randy. Tina Brigatti, Leslie. A few meetings ago, 3 of you up there voted no on switching Amanda Wirtz from a contract employee to a part-time employee because bond counsel told you you needed someone in that position. 3 of you thought $70 an hour was too much for her, yet you offered Carol Johnson a position to assist with the audit at $70 an hour without any issues. No one has ever worked with Carl up at this council, yet you have worked with Amanda. I've worked with Carl and I've worked with Amanda. Voting yes on those resolutions that night would have been the right thing to do. You also voted yes on a bond proposal for the fire department. Also the right thing to do, as that facility needs renovations. And you just heard from Mr. McGusson, and I did the walkthrough as well. I'm just not sure citizens know what your no vote is going to cost them. So please do tell us. What will the interest rate be on those bonds? What will the city's bond rating be? And how does this affect our daily activities at City Hall? Mr. McGusson just asked you to give the fire department some money. There's nobody in that position. I ask this only because we do not have a finance director, and now we may not be losing someone else. So I see 3 votes having no plan at all when asked a few weeks ago as to what you were going to do. I also don't know why you have to, I also know you don't have to explain your reason for why you voted no. But I thought you might during your council comments that night. Again, the right thing to do. Nope, you didn't. And instead, one talked about a dead squirrel, one talked about their daughter's surgery, and the other one, I don't know what you were trying to say. So, we all know what happens when you don't listen to the experts. And I'm sorry to say it again, but it's called Hollywood 48101. It happened before, and it's going to happen again if you don't watch what you're doing. To Councilwoman Nick, Councilman Barr and Councilman Schlack, in less than a year, you have created such a mess. Please do tell me and the rest of Allen Park how you plan to move the city forward. In closing, I would like to thank Amanda for all you've done, and I wish you nothing but the best. I'm going to say this now because I'm going to get very emotional, but Mark, thank you for everything you and your team did while you were here. I wish you nothing but the best. You pulled Allen Park out of the darkest days, and I am thankful for that. So with that, go Blue, go Tigers. Good night.
Charles Blood and Champagne. I'm going to be going around and around with things. Wish I wrote things down, but didn't. First off, I want to say good job to our Parks and Recs department and commission. I saw that they've been putting up new fences around our baseball fields and different areas and keeping our city looking great, our parks. So again, thank you to Rob and Kyle on what you guys do every day, and also the commission, the volunteers, the commissioner that they do all the time. I want to say in November, and then even before November, we have the 9 days before. When you go out and vote, please be respectful to those who are working. They're your neighbors, family, and then to the clerk's office. Keep on doing a great job, what you guys do during these elections. I know this is going to be another big one coming up in November. To Mr. Mark Kibbe, thank you for, again, getting the grants for the Historical Museum. I walked by the other day and the landscaping looking fantastic. I'm glad it was funny, I went to the last Historical Commission meeting and I was talking about the holiday parade, Christmas parade, and he said, oh, we gotta make sure we gotta get a tree up and stuff, and then the next day, there's a tree up there, so it's like, wow, if I can get that done in 24 hours, you know, what else? But it looks fantastic. From again, Mark, thank you for all the grants that got for the city, for that museum, from what it was, what it looked like to now. And then lastly, I know he's not here at the moment, but to Chris Egan, Chief Chris Egan, thank you for what he's done for the city. The 4 years I was on council and all the memories I can go back to where we had those events in the parking lot, cop night, or and all that stuff. And Mr. Valerius, maybe we went in the dunk tank and all that stuff, and the judge. And it's good times. He put together when there was the Black Lives Matter march thing in Allen Park, keeping that moving together and all that stuff. So there's so many things, like the positive things of what he did for our city, and like President said, being able to sleep at night knowing that the city's safe, and he was a wonderful chief. And but again, I just gotta remember up here, you're here for the residents, you're here for the workers, the volunteers, the businesses. Keep supporting those local businesses. I did see a posting that the Hungarian strudel was 50 years here. Just so, and then so it's just, again, keep supporting those local businesses so they can stay here as well. But again, when you make a decision, you gotta think of the big picture at the end of the day. And and then also, lastly, that Made in Michigan event, great job to everyone that did helped out and worked that. Looked like a great turnout, and But again, just make sure you're thinking about the residents, the workers when you make decisions. Thank you.
There's no one else coming up. We will close public comments and move on to the consent agenda, which tonight consists of claims and accounts and the payroll report. Motion, please.
Motion, Mayor.
Motion by Mr. Valerius.
Second.
Second by Mr. Barr. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Move on to Resolution 1. Resolution to approve the cement contractor CA Hull to pour the cement for the Reek Road Bridge deck for one night between the dates of October 2nd to October 11th, with the time for the pour to be between 8 p.m. and 2 a.m. Motion, please.
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Nick.
Second.
Second by Mr. Valerius. Have some information?
Good evening.
Mr. Murray.
Yes, they are a bridge contractor, not just a cement contractor, just to make you aware. Bridges do not have any soil or debris underneath them on the deck, so therefore there's nothing to cool the concrete as it's poured out and has to be cured. So therefore they like to pour them all at night. If you remember I-75 project, everything was poured at night on bridges. That helps it cure properly so it doesn't harden too fast, doesn't crack later. So they're just asking for one night. I don't know the exact night. It's within that time frame due to weather, depends on where they're at with the project currently. So they're just asking for a kind of like a variance because our charter states or some ordinance states that they cannot do nighttime work. It's the same thing you approved for Southfield Freeway earlier in the year.
They just need one night.
Yes, it's just one. We think it's a large bridge. It's not for a company like this. It's a small pour for them. Yeah.
Does anyone have any further questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is approved. Thank you. Get that bridge fixed and the people on Reek will be ecstatic. Resolution 2, to approve the street closure request from the DDA for Park Avenue from Garfield to Harrison on Friday, October 25th, from 2 p.m. through 8 p.m. for the annual Trunk and Treat event. Motion.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Barr, second by Mr. Marcos.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council, and Mr. Kibbe. Appreciate this. Allen Park DDA last year, you may recall, sponsored a trunk or treat event with the Allen Park Presbyterian Church. This is also in conjunction with the Friday Farmers Market, happened to be the last Friday Farmers Market of the year this year on October 25th. We sought your approval last year and you granted it to close one block of Park Avenue from Harrison to Cleveland, which allowed for the trunk or treat event to occur. We were blessed with terrific weather last year, and the result was the event was so popular that we ran out of candy and we had overflow. A couple of you were there. The result is we're asking your approval this year to expand the road closure by an additional block to take it from Harrison at Park to Garfield at Park. And we expect that we will have greater attendance this year with even enhanced publicity, assuming the weather cooperates.
Any questions? I can say it was jam-packed last year. It was just delightful to watch everybody. And the number of adults that came dressed up too was always entertaining. So, yeah, it was a great event. And I think that 2 blocks will take care of a lot of the overcrowding that occurred. So if there are no questions.
Point of information.
Yes.
For any new parents out there, beware of all the trunk and treats, because by the time Halloween comes around, they have about 62 pounds of candy. But this one's a good one, so come to it. We always go, but yeah, by the time Halloween rolls around, you almost wish it wasn't there. Great event, thank you.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
If I may, through the chair,
Yes.
I mentioned it to Ben that it'd be great to see this expanded. It's really a little frustrating when you're only closing for a small block, one block now, this would be 2 blocks. But it'd be awesome if they can get to the point where we're closing at Southfield and being able to come all the way up to that area, really get everybody more involved. So something that I think he's gonna be striving for. And then while we're talking about DDA, can I just real quick to answer Mrs. White's question on regarding Southfield flagpoles? I'm not too sure you haven't noticed in the last few, about a week or so, those flagpoles have been changed out. There's 3 flagpoles there now. They now contain the American flag, the city flag, and the state of Michigan flag. I think Ben is working on getting the lights to be powered up directly on the poles. They're being lit by the street lights right now. And then also new signs for that location, new city entry signs, and also the Del Taco sign down at Southfield as well.
I'll move on to Resolution 4, which is the resolution to approve the fire department's purchase of 1 TFT Station Protect Air Decontamination System from McLeod Fire Equipment for a cost of $6,564 with funds from account 101-336-931-000. Motion, please.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Schlack, seconded by Mr. Valerius. Chief O'Reilly.
Good evening. Tonight I'm here to ask for approval to purchase the air protection system. This system is a mobile cart that was designed for the firehouses. So it's a larger unit. It has a control for speed, which we can use it from a small room up to 2,400 square feet. It cleans all your normal toxins, molds, allergens that you would have in a regular house, but it's also designed with HEPA filters to clean the air from the toxins that we bring back from fires throughout the station, on our gear, on our uniforms. It also cleans the air from viruses, COVID, things like that. So our current dorm room has an open ceiling, 3/4 walls. So as the crews come back and breathing the same air throughout the day and night, especially in the construction phase of the station, we're going to be in congested areas. So we're trying to keep that air clean to keep everybody healthy. On top of that, cleaning the molds and all the dust and everything that's going to be in the air through the construction phase. The nice thing about this unit that it's mobile, we'll be able to reuse it in our new our new gear room for our turnout gear, which will help keep that air clean of all the toxins that protect our crews.
Does anyone have any questions?
Basically, through the chair, basically it's an air scrubber.
Yes.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 5 is to approve the outdoor event permit for the Streetery to hold a chili cook-off at 5955 Allen Road on October 19th from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. Motion.
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Nick.
Second.
Second by Mr. Valerius.
As we did in the study session, we did have the owner of the streetery, half owner of the streetery, as he made sure to point out. They're going to be, they're asking for a chili cook-off event to be held on October 19th. The time will be from 5 to 8, but they will have music extending to the 11 o'clock timeline, which is allowable by ordinance. They're going to be closed at their restaurant. They'll be blocking off their parking lot to allow for the event to be held there. And then there is parking in the public parking lot behind their building and also behind the CVS, Old Boston Market area is the public parking.
Thank you. And for those who wondered, Sean Campo is one half and the other half is Nicole Campo.
Buffy.
Well, it says Nicole.
Nicole's the daughter, so Buffy is the other half of the
Buffy,
owner.
okay. Maybe he's only third owner.
Possible.
Are there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is approved. We'll be eating some chili here. All right, we'll move on now to elected official comments, and this evening we will start with Matthew Valerius.
I'll keep it short. I just wanted to extend my thanks to Parks and Rec. I attended the commission meeting last night. I'm always amazed attending these monthly meetings with Parks and Rec because the department itself is doing so much with so little, and the funds that they use and what they do with those funds is really remarkable considering the parks around our city as well as the ball fields. You know, all the information shared at last night's meeting just goes to show you that, you know, the hard work and efforts of all those Parks and Rec employees as well as the commission is a great thing for the city of Allen Park. You talk about not only the community center, but all the things going on in the ice rink. It was mentioned last night at the meeting, like they don't have any hour of availability for the ice. The ice time throughout the entire season is totally 100% booked, which is a good thing for the ice rink and the city. That's the problem you kind of want to have instead of having available ice time. If it's all booked, that means it's all been paid for as well. So again, I just wanted to extend my thanks to Rob, Kyle, and Evan, all the Parks and Rec employees, and all the Parks and Rec committee members for the job that they're doing in that department. I had the opportunity to serve some beers on Friday night with Ed Wurzbacher up at the Made in Michigan Festival. Ed, it was a great time spending time conversing with you, and it was an even better time serving beers to Allen Park residents and visitors to our city, and also tasting all those beers that they had available. So, and I had a quality control test all 12 just to make sure that they were suitable to be served to the people that were paying me money to do it. So, also thanks to Deb Zettel. We know who truly runs the city. For your 10 years of service to Allen Park. Appreciate all the time and years that you've dedicated to the city of Allen Park. And with that, I yield.
Thank you. Mr. Marcos.
Try to keep it short as well. Deb, 10 years. Good job. You always avoid my phone calls. I know. You call me back. I think we need to show our appreciation for all the Beautification Committee, the APCCF, Ed Wurzbacher, Kathy Collier, all the hard work that they do. These are volunteers, and there's many citizens that volunteer for all these commissions, and it's a lot of work, but they take the time out, and I really want to thank them all for taking their time out of their lives and working with the city and working on the city and making it the place that it is. Also, the homeowners and business owners that received awards. You obviously take pride in your homes and your businesses, and I want to thank you as well for that. 38 nominees, that's pretty incredible. So, what else I got? Oh, Brady. Thank you, Brady. Nice to have you on board. You're going to get an education. And apparently you already know one of our council members pretty closely. So. But thank everybody for coming, and the Made in Michigan Festival was great. It was a lot of fun. I spent a few minutes there. My wife worked there as well. So I want to thank all the volunteers again. Appreciate it very much. Thank you, and good night.
Thank you. Mr. Barr.
Since the last council meeting, several events have happened. I want to thank the citizens of here in Allen Park, with a little nudging from our city administrator, Mark, for letting me attend the Michigan Municipal League Conference on Mackinac Island back on the 11th through the 13th. Had several, well, actually quite a few different sessions, everything from creating thriving communities to the roles of how the city is actually changing the nation, meaning locally we can change. Let's see. There was also some public safety event up there because of recent events nationwide. This was apropos because it pertained to catastrophic events. And we don't want them here, but we gotta be prepared. Also, I had a lot of networking with other key players on other municipal councils and mayors and administrations. Thank you to everybody that was doing the presentations. To Chief Egan, I have to say thank you. My heart goes out to the motor carrier officer, Daniel Kersletter, and to the Michigan State Police on his loss of life that occurred on I-75 while I was up in Mackinac. Deb, congratulations. 10 years is a long time, and I know. On a lighter note, I, with Mayor Pro Tem Nancy, Nick, we were able to participate in the Allen Park High School Homecoming Parade. Had a little bit of fun with that and brought back memories of when I met my missus during this time of year, way back when. Also, I have to say thank you to the DDA, the commissions, for helping with the Made in Michigan Festival downtown. I did drop quite a bit of dollars over there. So, also, I need to give a shout out to the Wayne County Department of Public Works for their quick response in repairing the burned out traffic light on E-course at Roosevelt Allen Road area. I actually called them up and said, can you get to it? And they said, it's out. I said, yes. And they had it up and running within, I think, an hour. So, other than that, I yield.
Thank you. Mr. Schlack.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll try not to be too repetitive, but I definitely wanted to say to the Beautification Commission, I know they do wonderful work. I'm proud to say that I'm the liaison to that commission. So I don't know how many people that, when they go out to see it, even from other communities, that come out and say, wow, your city works hard to do that. And I tell them it's volunteers, and they're very shocked to hear that. So every flower brightens the city more and makes our city that much more beautiful to look at. So thank you to all their hard work and all the business owners and residents that receive awards. It was heartfelt congratulations to them. I also wanted to say 2 weeks ago, I also attended the MML conference. That, was appreciative to the city and Mark Kibbe to help in arranging those arrangements for me able to attend. I look forward to sharing a lot with my colleagues of what I learned there and applying these new skills that can continue to help our city grow. So I will have that presentation shortly. Also want to say thank you to the DDA and definitely the Parks and Rec for picking up with the trash. If it weren't for them, I don't know what the city would look like during Made in Michigan Festival. But I did talk to a lot of residents that came up and visited that, and they had a great time. And they always say it's a great time to end the summer. So thank you for all who attended. If you haven't, definitely check it out next year. I definitely believe it's great to see, and the hard work and dedication that goes into making it makes it that much better. I want to conclude by just saying that thank you for everyone that came up and to attend it today. I had to take a lot of notes, and we'll look forward to looking over those more detailed. And as we move forward for the next year, I know we have a lot that's coming up, and I definitely want us to embrace as a council and really try a willingness to work hard. Change is not always easy, but I know sometimes when it happens, we have to try to look at it all sides. So make sure every voice and transparency is utmost importance in ensuring that we serve the community and the citizens, because I believe it was Ray McGusson today that first brought it up. Someone else, I apologize, but definitely we are here for the community. So with that, I yield. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Lloyd.
First, to Mrs. White, thank you so much for coming with your concerns. I say it every time that something like this happens, that if people don't come up and tell us these things, like a lot of times there's things that we're not necessarily aware of. I know you got answer to one of your questions. The probably more difficult one is the one about Rosedale Avenue, but I know that somebody in this room has that answer, and I'm not sure if you were able to get one of the sheets to fill out, but we can make sure that we get that information to you so we can get your contact information so that we can be able to get back to that. So thank you so much. It's very important. Two things that I just want to highlight, and again, I know I'm usually long-winded as well. One is just a huge appreciation for Deb Zettel and her 10 years of service to the city. It truly is the range of things that Deb does would blow most people's minds. She does just about everything from coming in here and setting up commission meetings to trying to get back to Councilman Marcos, to all the things in between. So again, it is deeply appreciated, and I don't know where we'd be without her. And the other one, and this is just on a personal note, I had the good fortune of teaching Mr. Brady Boroniec. He's a great kid, and it always gives me a little bit of an extra pull on my heartstrings when I see one of my students coming up here and taking that oath. And I think both Deb and Brady illustrate something that's really important to keep in mind about this city, is that there is our employees that are coming in every single day and working their butts off to make this a great place. And that's our administrative staff here, our DPW, Parks and Rec, fire, police. Every single day, they are going out there. They are the people that are in the trenches, literally, in some cases, that they are putting their lives on the line. But even just the mundane tasks of keeping a $25 million organization going. We are very fortunate in the city of Allen Park that the vast majority of residents don't have to think about that on a day-to-day basis, but it's because of their tremendous efforts why we live in such an amazing city. And coupled with that, not just our employees, but as either Mr. Slack or Mr. Barr noted, all of our volunteers, our commission members, our elected officials, not just the people up, but the individuals that show up to the beautification cleanups and do the flower beds and make sure that their front yards look beautiful. There is tiny efforts that are going on all over this city that just make this a wonderful place. And I think that that's the difference between a city and a community, is that it's not just a place on a map, it's the people that live here that are striving to make this a better place every single day that we're here. So I think that I am very proud to be an Allen Parker, and I appreciate all the efforts from our volunteers and from our employees. It is greatly appreciated.
Thank you. It's Nick.
Yeah, I also want to thank Brady for stepping up and becoming a student commissioner. With those cleanups are a lot of fun. A lot of us go there. I think they might be, I don't think it's been announced yet though, but I think they might be doing some raking of leaves. They helped 5 seniors last year rake their leaves, and those seniors were really appreciative. They are talking about doing it again. So just look out for those dates. If everybody wants to help and volunteer, you're more than welcome. The Maine Michigan Festival, Councilman Barr, I also spent more money than I thought, but it was a lot of fun. I was there all day Saturday and then some of Friday night, so it was a lot of fun. And I wanted to thank Mark for giving me the opportunity to be able to go to the conference in Mackinac Island. I learned a lot. I brought back a lot. I went to a lot of the grant work breakout sessions. There are some classes that we can take that are free through the state of Michigan, so I know the 3 of us were talking about taking those. They are online, and they are free to anybody who wants to take them. So we did learn a lot. The city of, I think it was Milford, Dan, if you'd like to go with us, they invite us. They have had a skate park there for over 10 years, and they've welcomed us out so that we can look at it, and they did tell us a lot about the skate park, and they have not had any issues with it at all. And they've had it for about 10 years, they said. I was driving around the city the other day, and I was just looking at all the buildings that are like Dunleavy's, the outside of it with the facade grants and how nice that is. And when I was coming home last night from work, over by Denny's Den, I'm not sure the name of it, but if anybody knows where Denny's Den is on E-Course, it was late at night, and they were putting up their sign. And so I was kind of watching that with the big crane, and that was kind of interesting how they were putting that sign on. So as I'm going around, I'm just looking at all the improvements on the buildings and our businesses, so I think that looks pretty great. And talking about that, I don't know if many of you know, but the Rat Pack just received a certificate of excellence, and they had an article written. I think they were in the top 3 in Michigan. Is that correct? I know they're here tonight. And there was a long article that I read, and just a little bit of it. It says, nestled in the heart of Allen Park, Michigan, the Rat Pack Martini and Cigar Lounge awaits a haven for those seeking a touch of excellence and sophistication. This hidden gems transports you back in time to an era of glamour and charm. The Rat Pack Martini and Cigar Bar is more than just a destination. It's a place where exceptional service and attention to deal with take center stage. So there's a long article on it. I just pulled out a few little things. But congratulations to that. That's a big accomplishment. So we appreciate that.
I'll attest to that.
Yeah. I went there for the first time, and it was really nice inside. And then this Sunday, if anybody would like to come, the Community Affairs Committee here on Sunday, and there's not a football game because they're playing Monday night for the Lions. At 1 o'clock, we're going to be starting to talk about, I know it's in 2.5 years, it's a celebration of the city of Allen Park. And as our city clerk reminded me, it's not, we haven't been around for 100 years, the city. It's because we broke away, and I think, Mike, it was in 57 we became a city. But it is a celebration of of Allen Park. We broke away from the Ecorse Township in 1927 and became a city in 57. So we're just starting to talk about some things and celebrating. So if anybody would like to come and help or give ideas, please feel free. And that's Sunday at 1:30 here at City Hall. So thank you, everyone, and good night.
Thank you. And now I'm going to put on the treasurer's hat. Just imagine I'm Tim. He wanted to thank the DDA and the volunteers for a successfully run Made in Michigan festival, and indicated that he and his wife Nicole attended on Saturday. Weather was perfect, and was happy to see so many of the residents enjoying the sights and sounds. He also wanted to congratulate the Allen Park Jaguars on their victory last Friday on homecoming game, where they defeated Lincoln Park 24-6. And he indicated he would like to see folks at the military appreciation game, which is coming up. He also mentioned he had some brothers who were retired from the U.S. Navy, so very dear to him. And he also mentioned he was going to be selling 50/50 tickets, so stop by and see him. Okay, Tim, if you watch this, I did it, so. That's it for the treasurers. Mr. Mizzi.
Yes, the November 5th general election is quickly approaching, and absentee ballots are pretty much all stuffed almost and ready to go out. They'll be mailed out by the end of this week. Turnaround time's pretty good, but keep in mind, you don't have to return it right away. You can bring it to 9-day voting, early voting, which is here in the council chambers, and you could vote it there. We have put the date and times for early voting. It's always going to be like, I forgot the days, but it's going to be, this year it's going to be Saturday, October 26th, and all the way to Sunday, November 3rd. And each of those days is going to be 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. So I want to urge everybody and anybody out there to go to this site, michigan.gov/vote, and it'll give you a plethora of information, okay? If you want to apply, you want it's just amazing because it's personalized to you. So I encourage anyone with questions on the process, go here. I always say, know your ballot, know where to vote, and know your rights. And this will tell you all of it. So with that, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. God bless you and good night.
Thank you. I'll start out with some brief things. First of all, we should wish Miss Nick a happy birthday on her upcoming birthday on October the 3rd, which will occur before our next council meeting. As I've told people in the past, I don't sing, and you should be very grateful for that. The other thing is, Can't say enough good things about Deb Zettel, who, as Dan said, if you had any idea of all the things that she handled, you would wonder why she's still with us, and tolerates what she tolerates. Very happy and pleased for Chief Egan's retirement. He's done a lot to bring the police force to where it is today, and we should be extremely proud that we are one of the few accredited in the state. Can't say enough good things about that. There was probably a few other things that have completely slipped my mind, which is in a fog. And with that, I'm not going to sit here and take up anyone's time and try and muddle through if it comes to me. There was one thing. I knew it was, because I keep turning this sheet over, I wanted to address something that Ms. White brought up, the Rosedale concern, because that has been going on for months and it's been covered in some previous meetings. What you are seeing there is simply aesthetics. We have had that tested, and it is not just in Allen Park. This has been happening all over the state of Michigan, particularly in southeastern Michigan. It's happening in Canton, Plymouth, many, many other neighboring communities. Everything that was done as far as construction was done according to rules, state laws, regulations, and it was monitored. There have been tests that have been done on it. Structurally, the structure is perfect and will hold up. There's no chance that that will deteriorate. Aesthetically, it is not pleasing, and that is still being looked at to see what can be done to make that stop. But please rest assured that we did not get scammed nor than any other city. Everything was done as it should have been. So we don't know why it's scaling. There might have been something in the mix, but again, it's something that's being looked at, but we are aware of it. Again, nothing that's going to impact the structure of that roadway. It should last for a good 30 years. So, and if you want to, as far as the block party, I think that's something you have to work through the police department for, because we have no control over that. So if you want to perhaps see Chief appointed Chief Phelps, he's there you go. So I hope that we've answered that. And for anybody else who comes to a meeting and would like something to have answered, there are sheets of paper at the podium. And if you want us to get back to you, I forgot to mention that, I should do that at the beginning of public comments, please fill that form out and just leave it with the clerk and we'll get back to you.
If I may, through the chair, the major issue that's going to be on that Park Avenue issue is that it's a fire route. Right. And that is specifically in the request for the event, is that they are not allowed in there. I'm not too sure what we can do, but I know these looked at Chief O'Reilly and Chief to be Phelps, so we'll see what we come up with.
So at any rate, with that being said, I would like ask for a motion to adjourn. Motion by I've got everybody, Mr. Marcos and Ms. Nick. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. We are adjourned at 7:38.